Hi everyone, welcome to Duo 3. I'm Lester and today I would like to continue the charting series for everyone. And today we will be covering on adding a secondary axis as well as changing the chart type for the charts itself. So I've inserted another scenario for this example. So your manager will also like to share the contribution margin for the units across the quarters in the same chart. So the task here clearly would be to have multiple data sets in the particular chart itself. And for this time round, I've intentionally have the contribution margin with greater range gap between sales as well as the contribution margin to allow us to illustrate how secondary axis can facilitate the presentation of the secondary data to better illustrate the trend of the data itself. So without further ado, let me kickstart the session. So firstly, we are going to insert the secondary data. So click on the chart itself. Under chart tools, we'll look for design, and under design data group, we select data. Click on select data, and we are going to add a particular data series to this chart itself. Click on add. Series name, we are going to use contribution margin as the series name, and the series value, we are going to select it across the quarters. Click on OK, and you realize that the secondary data is already plotted on the chart itself. So the next item that we are going to do is to change the chart type of the secondary data. So in order to do that, we select the chart. Under chart tools, we go to layout. Under current selection, you realize there's a drop down box over there, and we will choose the data series that we are going to modify. So contribution margin is the data series. Click on that and go to design. We are going to change the chart type after telling Excel which data series we are going to modify, right? Go to design, and under types, we are going to change the chart type over here. Click on change chart type, and we are going to do a very simple change to it to change the secondary data into a line graph. Click on line and OK. So you realize that, hey, the secondary data has become a line graph. So if you look at the line graph currently, it looks relatively flat, and this is because it's plotting against the primary axis. So in order to better illustrate the trend for the contribution margin, we are going to add a secondary axis to this chart itself. So in order to do that, we select the chart again. Under chart tools, we go to layout. Under layout, we are going to tell Excel which data series we are going to do the secondary axis for. So clearly we are going to use contribution margin, and to add a secondary axis, we go to format selection, and you realize that Excel actually allows us to plot series on a secondary axis, right? You realize that we have selected the secondary data and click on secondary axis and close. So you realize Excel has added another axis called the secondary axis on the right hand side of the chart, and this allows us to better see the trend of the contribution margin when it's plotted against another independent series, another independent axis. And generally we'll use a different chart type for secondary axis to allow it to stand out from the primary data series. So I hope this session has been useful for everyone, and I look forward to sharing more of such charting tools with you guys next time. Thanks everyone.